Joining us now are political analyst, Republican Garrett Mason and Democrat Betsy Sweet. Thank you both for being here. Late night. Initial reactions. Betsy, we'll start with you.
Well, there was definitely a contrast between the two of them, not just in positions, which I know we'll talk about, but also in the kind of person that they are, the way that they handle things, the way that they handle debate, the way that they handle disagreement with one another. I thought we saw a measured, very forceful, very strong, very coherent Kamala Harris. And I think we saw Donald Trump once again go to personal attacks, name calling. I mean, things that I would not let a seventh grader say in a classroom. He was saying about the Vice President of the United States as well as other leaders. And I just think before we even talk about issues, it's the kind of person that we want representing us, that we can respect and uphold the leadership of this country around the world.
Garrett.
I have two thoughts on it. Number one was the debate itself. I was very frustrated. It seemed like the rules were in at one point and the rules were out at one point. And so that was a little frustrating to watch. I think it wasn't great for either candidate or the moderators, to be quite honest with you. And secondly, I think what you saw was the same Donald Trump that people have seen at debates for almost 10 years now. It's, people like him for his frankness and his plain talk. But I will say this, the vice president, she did a great job tonight. She was well prepared, and to be honest with you, I think that probably her and her team wished that was the Kamala Harris in 2019 when she first ran for the primary. She was well prepared, but I think it's the President Trump that everybody knew and voted for in 16. Same thing in 20. So I'm not sure anybody was surprised by President Trump.
But on the issues here, the economy was pretty much front and center, and Vice President Harris really forced to kind of tackle that and lay out her plans around that. And then former President Trump having to defend his past records and what he plans for the future. Do you think that either argument resonated with the voters, Garrett?
Yeah, I think one thing that President Trump talked about tonight was that, the China tax tariffs, that all of a sudden the Biden-Harris administration hated those, but they're still in place from when the administration started. And that's a key part of President Trump's policy agenda for the next year. Vice President Harris just launched her policies on her website, I think 2 days ago, and she had to lay out a bunch of things tonight. One thing I found interesting was she has retreated from price controls. She didn't bring that up at all, which is a major policy plank in the policy speech she gave in Detroit, I believe, a few weeks ago. And she rolled out something new, a $50,000 tax credit. Is that refundable? Is it not? So I think there's still some details that she's edging out around her plans, but she started tonight. Betsy.
Well, I think that the China tariffs he's talking about a 20% tariff. It's way different than what we have now. And I think she laid out a very articulate list of things in pretty detail that is going to help middle class. The earned income tax credit, the child care tax credit, the $50,000 for someone trying to buy a new home. Things that matter to everyday Americans, working families, middle class families, that are really how we're going to spend that money, as opposed to tax breaks for the richest people in this country and the big corporations. That's a big difference, and I think it's going to resonate with people here in Maine and across the country.
And finally, make it quick here. Ultimately, voters in Maine will be heading to the polls in November, and all eyes will once again be on Maine's 2nd District, where there are a lot of undecideds. How do you see this playing out? What do you predict now that this debate has played out, Betsy?
I think we're going to see a much different 2nd District vote than we did, and I think women are going to drive it. I think women heard tonight what Trump thinks about women, what he thinks, how he disrespects us, how he disrespects our choices. And I think women are going to come out in numbers that we haven't seen before, and they're going to drive much closer numbers in the 2nd District than we've seen.
Garrett?
I think it's the question that David Muir posed at the very beginning of the debate. The first thing he said was, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? And I think if people in Maine are honest about it, the answer is no. And they can go back to the Trump years and have more money in their pocket, have to spend less on groceries, and have standing in the world, or they can go with the continued path of Kamala Harris.
We were all masked and sitting in our homes 4 years ago.
Garrett Mason, Betsy Sweet, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And remember, you can get more analysis on the debate and all your election coverage on our website and the News Center Maine app.